We just saw Doonebug97 get knocked down. We saw his team earlier on. RockHaven, the only Bastiodon user still in the tournament. Bastiodon's won the first 2 regional competitions of this season. Will he be able to beat Doonebug, take it back up to the rise at the top? We'll have to see.
Not only that, but I think this is the best finish for a Goodra in quite some time, and RockHaven has made the most of that flexible dragon pick. As you take a look at the rest of the team here from Doonebug, I see tons of play for it. As long as it avoids that Wigglytuff, it can apply so much pressure, whether it's Aqua Tail into the Nova Stunfisk or Thunder Punch into the Talonflame. There's a lot of utility there. But let's see what else RockHaven decides to build around it.
I mean, you want to talk about that. There's a Wigglytuff, yes, on that side of Doonebug, but there's also a Credilli on that team, and there is a Shadow Scissor on the team of RockHaven. And if you have 2 Pokemon that are so weak to one, that pretty much limits your choice to probably only bringing one in the matchup unless you're playing extremely risky, which maybe you do in this best of 5. You have a little bit of wiggle room. You maybe have some time to throw out some new ideas, test some new theories.
As we've heard a couple times so far from our co-casters, if there's ever a time to gamble, it's in Las Vegas. Take a look at these achievements from our esteemed trainers on stage as we move into our losers finals. Peoria top 8, Knoxville top 4. RockHaven knocking on the door of greatness for multiple seasons now, wants to etch his name in the history books. Let's get right into it, everybody. We're going to jump right into game number 1 here in short succession. Doonebug's going to be on the left side of your screen, RockHaven on the right. Best of 5, the table is set. Let's see what we've got.
We're going to start rocking here. We have that Bastiodon rumbling onto the field up against that bulky Corsola on the other side. You see Doonebug nodding, but I think he's wishing that that Shadow Primeape that he has in the back was lined up to it instead.
This is the quiet before the storm, right? You've got 2 bulky Pokemon just dishing damage back and forth. No clear winner, kind of a battle of attrition. But a lot depends on switch advantage, and if you're playing Bastiodon like RockHaven is, you probably do not want to give that up.
Let me tell you what, there is a lot of alignment-based things that could be happening here because Doonebug has that Shadow Talonflame in the back, one of the biggest threats to that Shadow Scissor, which is also lurking for RockHaven.
I think that RockHaven would love to see that Talonflame, but he's got to get through this Galarian Corsola first. Meanwhile, he's going to fire the Stone Edge here against the pure Ghost-type Pokemon. Shadow Primeape is the 3rd Pokemon for Doonebug97, and it looks like the Azumarill and Shadow Scizor are in reserve for RockHaven.
This is going to be so alignment heavy at the end, and I don't know if either one of these trainers know it. Doonebug going for another Nightshade. No Protect Shield by RockHaven's side. Both of these Pokemon are getting so low, and Bastiodon has a lot of energy. RockHaven going for even more throws here before throwing one maximum energy and actually catches this Nightshade onto the Azumarill.
Banks of Stone Edge on the Bastiodon. That could be really useful down the stretch, but getting away switch advantage might be even more important. In comes the Primeape into the Azumarill matchup. Oh no!
You know what that means.
Really good for Doonebug and really bad for RockHaven, but let's see how it all shakes out. Primeape throws their H-Fist.
When Primeape has some shields to hide behind, this actually isn't as bad as it would seem having a fighter up against that Fairy Water type. Already one time being boosted with that first Rage Fist. This time RockHaven actually throwing and getting a Protect Shield off of Doonebug's Primeape there. Wants to try to keep it nice and healthy because he knows what's in the back.
8 turns to the Rage Fist. Primeape reaches another one here, and it's only 3 Karate Chops away from the 3rd. This second Rage Fist will likely not be enough to KO, but the 3rd one is really going to dial up the pressure.
That's starting to get choppy, and RockHaven comes in now with his own Scissor here and actually puts up a Protect Shield, and Doonebug puts up a little smile because he knows what is in the back there, and he is going to go ahead, let his Primeape go down, but in comes this Talonflame that just start incinerating.
Wow, Night Slash is going to be allowed to connect into the Talonflame. Doonebug is confident in managing the HP here, but that Incinerate's about to apply, and look at that Scizor. Now you see it, now you don't.
That was like a magic trick we do have here in Vegas. Bastiodon actually goes for one more fast attack before throwing the charge attack here, getting the Protect Shield, but did the Incinerate damage go through because that Bastiodon is so low, and down it goes. In comes the Azumarill.
Absolutely, Talonflame looking for a sweep here, but a little bit of bad news. There's still a Protect Shield for the Azumarill, and this is going to come right down to the wire. 2 very weak Pokemon in the back. What does Doonebug decide to do here?
Going ahead and shielding that up. He's going to actually throw this Ice Beam into the Talonflame. No Protect Shields left. Azumarill still has a bit to go through. There's a very, very low health Primeape in the back. A very, very low health Corsola. Will they be able to reach a charge attack? Do everything loaded. Primeape goes down by 1 bubble, and look what's coming in. So does the Corsola. Corsola.
Wow, RockHaven aligned his Shadow Scizor versus a Talonflame and still beat Doonebug97 in game number 1. I could not have seen that outcome.
Wow, you even saw Doonebug start to smile in that when he saw that Scizor come in, being able to put so much pressure on it with that Shadow Talonflame, but so much energy preservation of RockHaven's side. He knew exactly what he needed to do. He just kept calm and collected, and he managed to take that game with just a couple of HP left on that Azumarill.
Wow, Doonebug just out of energy, out of HP, just out of cards to play. And the Galarian Corsola versus Bastion matchup, that's how we started things off. And it got a little bit shaky when RockHaven decided to swap in that Azumarill, but I guess he had a plan about what he wanted to do next.
You're looking at the team that Doonebug brought there. Both Talonflame and Shadow Primate were a little bit weak to that Azumarill in the back. And even though Doonebug did have some shields to hide behind there, Azumarill just proves time and time again why it's been around since the beginning of PvP.
Let's talk adjustments. If you are scared of Azumarill, what do? You bring a Grass-type Pokemon. I think that's probably the most obvious answer, but is it too obvious in the face of a team that is still equipped with the Shadow Scizor and the Corviknight?
I mean, if you're looking at that team that Shadow Scizor put in work, even though it went down so quickly, blink and you miss it. That Incinerate damage did so much, but that Night Slash in return, speaking of, we're about to see it back in action here. That Shadow Scizor takes that main stage up against a Galarian Corsola on the side of Doonebug. Doonebug has led Galarian Corsola both game 1 and game 2, but this game needs to be a little bit more wary of those charge attacks as the Night Slash is now coming through.
We don't often see the shield on the first Night Slash here, but if there's a boost, it is going to change this matchup significantly. Galarian Corsola goes down into the red after that damage, and it's going to force Doonebug to throw some energy here. He will get the knockout if this connects.
Going ahead and putting up a Protect Shield on the side of RockHaven there. If you look at Doonebug's line, he did bring that Credilli in the back, and I think if you're Doonebug, you're very happy to be avoiding it with the Scizor here, and now you're coming in with that Unova, but this Scizor has so much energy going for that first Trailblaze here. Still 2 Protect Shields on Doonebug's side. He uses it just at that last second.
RockHaven was shaking his head, apparently not happy with throwing the Trailblaze, but he might get the get back here. No, actually pivots into his Goodra, which opens the door for Doonebug to bring in the Cradilly, but that Shadow Kenta Marowak lurking in the back, Amanda, that's all I can think about right now.
Great timing by RockHaven, throwing this charge attack, this Aqua Tail, right before the Rock Tomb would go through to end up debuffing his attack. Doonebug goes ahead and takes it, knows it can take anything actually that Goodra is going to be able to throw at it here. Cradilly is actually a pretty great answer to it, but you know what? I think in the flip side, RockHaven's very excited to have that Cradilly missing his Kanto Marowak.
And this is the difference between Goodra and the fellow Dragon type in Altaria. It can absorb the Rock Tomb, no problem. Doesn't have that flying subtyping that makes it so vulnerable to it. But look at the Aqua Tails, they're not doing much either because this Cradilly does carry that sub grass typing.
Going ahead, going for yet another Aqua Tail. This Cradilly is taking a bath here, gets it down to the red. RockHaven tries to go for a quick play, but so does Doonebug, anticipating it, seeing that their timers were up, catching this Night Slash onto that healthy Unova Stunfisk, just giving it a bit more farm.
Night Slash bounces off, a boost right in the final moment, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. In comes Shadow, Kanto, Marowak, and the ground types are going at it. This does not look good for that Unova Stunfisk.
Just start slapping Kanto Marowak. Mud Slap number 2 going through there. You see the health just diminishing on that Kanto Marowak. No Protect Shield used on that first Mud Bomb on RockHaven's side. No Protect Shield on that second one. He knows there's a little bit of Cradilly left in the back, and he knows he'll be able to probably Mud Slap down. But at what cost here? Can he survive this? He's got 1 shield left.
Switch timer is up. Both trainers could make the swap out if they so desire. Kanto Marowak hangs on. The instant pivot now to Goodra into the Cradilly. Dragon Breaths are adding up, but they're not strong enough. And this Cradilly might reverse sweep for Doonebug here.
Going ahead, Cradilly takes it all home there. No Protect Shield used by RockHaven there, which actually proved to be a little bit vital and maybe helping keep a little bit of health left on that Kanto Marowak.
How many KOs do you see of a double resisted acid into a ground type Pokemon? Again, these trainers have found such unconventional ways to win these matchups all weekend long. And if you take anything away from their gameplay, remember, a bad lead does not mean a game loss. A typing disadvantage does not mean a match loss either. We're going into a game number 3 here, Amanda. This is a best of 5, right? So things are not quite over yet.
That's right. These two trainers still have some time to think about what they want to bring, maybe get a little bit creative, feel out their opponent here, because this is the losers finals. Though these trainers have made it to at least a top 3, at least a bronze medal, everyone left is shooting for that gold here. They're going to hop into the battles soon. They're going to see who will be able to take off against Rise to Occasion in the grand finals.
Going into game number 3 here, a lot of questions surrounding adjustments come to mind. Is the Bastion going to show up again? Is the Talonflame from Doonebug97 going to show up again? The Cradilly, you know, felt like the answer. In game number 2 it was, but will it work again? Let's find out.
Going ahead, coming into game number 3. A quick nod of the head, but I think RockHaven's shaking his head the wrong direction. He should be saying no as the scissor goes in. Goes for one fast attack before swapping to that Goodra. A nice alternative safe swap for him here, getting up a little bit of energy, and Doonebug responds with his Galarian Corsola.
And that's the thing, right? This team from RockHaven is actually so cleverly constructed. Safe switching the Goodra almost forces Doonebug to bring Wigglytuff if he wants that hard answer. And if he did that, he'd be at the mercy of the Shadow Scizor. So Doonebug has to find a more neutral answer to this Dragon-type Pokemon, and he chooses that Galarian Corsola.
Galarian Corsola is throwing a charge attack. RockHaven doesn't shield it up here, just getting even more charge attacks. He opted to go for the Thunder Punch the first time, which is a little more energy heavy here. Now he should still be able to make it to 2 Aqua Tails, it looks like. First one going through unprotected here, able to make it up to that second one, going for that Thunder Punch, that heavier hitting one, and Doonebug97 still doesn't put up a shield, but it still might not be enough.
Beautifully timed by RockHaven. 4 Dragon Breaths and the Thunder Punch on 1 HP. Galarian Corsola refuses to faint, and it does get the Nightshade as well. This is about as good as it can get for Doonebug.
This is looking rough for RockHaven. Nightshade taken onto that scissor. Now immediately swapping into that Marowak, but Marowak is not a Talonflame counter.
Absolutely not. Gonna go for the Flame Charge here. Shadow Talonflame ramping up this Incinerate damage. Doonebug's already nodding, but I gotta say, in game 1, he was nodding, and he didn't actually win that battle either. So let's find out how this shakes out. We've got a Primeape in the back for Doonebug, and we might see a switch out at any moment.
Things are getting toasty here as another shield goes up. This time Doonebug opting for the fly, a little bit more energy efficient, getting that last shield off of RockHaven's side. RockHaven just charging up a bit more energy. You can see he's just tapping at this point, not even bothering to throw any energy, recognizing that the writing may be on the wall for this game number 3.
Still 2 Protect Shields for Doonebug97. As one of these famous chefs here on the Las Vegas Strip might say, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
And Doonebug wants to stay in this kitchen. He wants to see what else is cooking back up on that grand finals stage. RockHaven has been playing so incredibly throughout this day, but will he be able to take it back? He needs to be able to get 2 more games off of Doonebug to be able to make it into that grand finals.
Couple things I want to mention. RockHaven's awareness of damage registration is so good. In the lead situation, Scizor versus that Talonflame, he throws the single bullet punch because the damage from the Incinerate doesn't apply until the last turn of the cycle. And then he does it again with his Goodra versus that Galarian Corsola, not allowing the second Astonish to apply damage to his Goodra before he clutches up the Thunder Punch. Very well done.
The thing is, with that middle matchup there, it got Galarian Corsola hanging on by a thread was just really the nail in it for the end there. But now we're going into game number 4. If Doonebug wins this, we'll see him up again against Rise to Occasion, but RockHaven still has a chance as this scissor is up against the Galarian Corsola, now throwing that Night Slash.
Yeah, this feels very similar to the last battle we just watched. This time, though, Doonebug deciding to shield. He doesn't want to soft lose the lead here, instead opting to protect his Ghost-type Pokemon and probably get a shield in kind.
Going ahead and getting that Protect Shield from that scissor. Their scissors like doing a little bit of a wave with this pinching claw as it's just continuing to gain up energy. He's already at the Night Slash, and RockHaven actually throws it right away, getting both Protect Shields here in the first part of this matchup. Less than a minute has been gone by, and Doonebug is out of shields.
Yeah, 2 shield Galarian Corsola, but I don't think it can get the Astonish down. It's being forced to throw a Nightshade into the Scizor. At the cost of both shields, Doonebug does lock down switch control.
And he is able to do so as the scissor goes down. Now we'll see that this Shadow Kanto Marowak comes in and just starts throwing those mud slaps. In comes the Prime Ape to this, but already that Kanto Marowak has a little bit of an energy advantage now throwing the Mud Bomb.
Yeah, I almost feel that was a slight misplay, right? To allow the 2 mud slaps through and allow the Shadow Kanto Marowak to get so far ahead. But Doonebug realized he wasn't going to outpace. He does clutch up the Rage Fist, though. This could potentially be an Ice Punch. He draws a shield anyway.
Going ahead and getting that Protect Shield off of RockHaven's side, that means there's no Protect Shields left. Bone Club was able to take that Primate down so low. There's a low health Galarian Corsola left, and we're about to see what is in the back as the Unova Stunfisk comes in here. Bone Club number 2.
This Shadow Kanto Marowak is just the thorn in the side for Doonebug. When he thinks he has everything else figured out, this Shadow Kanto Marowak just shows up and throws that Bone Club like a wrench into his plans. This looks really tough for Doonebug.
Both of these guys slinging mud at each other here as the Mud Bomb comes through on that side of the Unova Stunfisk. Kanto Marowak takes it, and you see a pivot out into that Goodra. Doonebug shaking his head, kind of recognizing going to get as much damage off as possible. Just want to see how this plays out, but RockHaven might be getting close to tying up the series here as the Corsola comes back in and takes an Aqua Tail.
Yeah, just too fast, too furious. RockHaven throwing the Aqua Tail into the Galarian Corsola to pick up the knockout. It's so healthy, and with that Shadow Kanto Marowak and Goodra core still at RockHaven's disposal, the Unova Stunfisk just cannot get the job done.
And RockHaven takes that game number 4, tying up the series. We're going into a decisive game number 5. And one thing to point out between these two trainers is they're not bringing the same 3 Pokemon every single time. In this team of 6, almost all of the Pokemon have been used by both of these trainers here, including that Bastiodon, including everything except for that Corviknight on the side of RockHaven, and everything except for that Wigglytuff on the side of Doonebug.
Beautifully said. Yeah, exactly. We've seen almost every single tool thrown at the opponent here, besides the kitchen sink, as they say, right? And now, as we head into a game number 5, there's a lot of pressure. I think that this Goodra and Shadow Kanto Marowak duo that RockHaven has kind of pulled out when he's in trouble is really difficult for Doonebug to conquer. So for him, the adjustment, I guess pressure is really on his shoulders in my mind.
Doonebug is great under pressure, though. We know that he's been one of those trainers who has been really successful in the Pokemon GO competitive circuit. He was our first trainer to win 2 events in one season, and I believe he even won 3 events that season. He's looking to gain back some of that notoriety, some of that big fame, wants another gold medal to his name. RockHaven hasn't made it up to that grand stage so far, but he is so close. He is 1 game away from being in that grand finals.
So solid, so steady, so composed at every step of his journey. RockHaven has had a brutal loser side bracket run, and he is very close to facing the final boss in the grand finals, but he's got to get past Doonebug97 first. We have such an incredible matchup. Anything goes at this point.
Both of these trainers know how much is on the line for them. This is the first time we've had a competitive circuit here in Las Vegas for Pokemon GO. This is our 10-year anniversary of Pokemon GO in the 30-year anniversary of Pokemon. There's so much to play for this season. It would mean so much of these competitors. They have 1 game left.
Decision time. One of our trainers is locked in, ready to go. This is going to be the final game of our losers finals. One of these trainers will end their run within top 3, and the other one will ascend even higher to that grand finals bracket.
Going ahead, looking at the team compositions that they've seen once again of these Pokemon that you've seen on the field so far. We have so many unique Pokemon between these trainers. I think it's a unique set of 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it looks that way, right? I mean, there's a lot of people I know in the crowd who are hoping Bastiodon will continue its winning ways, but I do like that Shadow Primate for Doonebug, and we have not seen either of those 2 Pokemon line up. But shout out to our stage crew. Looks like Bates is doing a headphone check there, just make sure everything is going well.
I know that Wholesome had said for his MVP picks that it was going to be Doonebug and that Shadow Primate to be able to take it so far. He's well on his way to be able to take it almost to the top.
Man, this is excruciating. I'm not gonna lie, Amanda. I really want to see this game number 5. This is like 4th quarter with 2 minutes left, and you're icing the kicker, right? You just kind of hold on to your seat and hope that you keep, yeah, sports ball. You keep your wits about you and keep your composure. But These two trainers are going to get locked in here pretty shortly, everybody. I'm really excited to see how it all goes down because, like you said, this is the first time in Las Vegas. And for RockHaven to make it to the grand finals, I think that's a first time for him as well. So we might see history in the making.
I believe, yeah, the highest he had made it before was in that top 4 placement, so he's well into that arena. But being able to get this 3rd place at least, it's very significant. Being able to get 2nd, even better. But being able to get his first ever regional title is something that all trainers are hoping for, aspiring for, something that Doonebug97 is well established with and familiar with, and I think he probably wants even another to his name.
Well, speaking of Doonebug, right, what he wants is that rematch against Rise to Occasion. Rise, like you said, has sent both of these trainers down to the loser's bracket. That's the common enemy, so to speak, that they share, and they both want to get back up there and get another shot at our multi-time regional champion.
Normally, the saying is, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but I don't think these two want to be friends right now. Both of them want to be winners, and they're both so close to being so. In a best-of-5 matchup, both of these trainers have brought it to the limit here. RockHaven taking game number 1, Doonebug taking games 2 and 3 before RockHaven's tied up this series.
Really depends on cores and duos, right? I feel like if Doonebug wants that hyper-aggressive, high-octane approach, he's probably going to lock in something like Talonflame and Primate. If he wants to be a bit more steady, maybe he'll choose the Cradilly, or you could always draw that wild card. He's been hiding up his sleeve in the Wigglytuff. Meanwhile, RockHaven, he could lean on the Bastion. I've heard of some trainers saying, you know what? If you're going to go out playing your favorites. So RockHaven does still have that option in hand.
If you're looking at the Pokemon that each of these trainers are bringing, besides that Shadow Talonflame, which I do believe was still in the top 12 usage, I'm actually not sure for day number 2, but Doonebug is running a rather not typical team, but a lot of meta Pokemon, while RockHaven, on the other hand, was using some off-meta picks, that Bastiodon that we haven't seen so often, except here in North America when it's won the last 2 titles.
You know, you keep bringing that up. You keep saying that.
I don't see it anywhere in Europe.
Well, okay. To be fair, you're right. And I guess factually, you are not incorrect, right? But as we get things sorted out on stage, everybody, please bear with us. We are heading into a decisive game number 5, but we need to make sure all of our equipment is functioning properly. For now, Amanda's going to entertain you with a dance.
Is that a good dance?
Pretty good. Pretty good. We need some claps in the chat.
Oh, that's like a Malamar dance almost.
Hey, my best friend Malamar, not inadequate. Let's go and take a look online and see what you've been saying out in the crowd and out in the stands. We've got Dark Matter Wolf, 33 years old today, so hyped to spend it here at the Las Vegas Regionals. What a birthday.
Yo, happy birthday, Dark Matter Wolf. What a way to spend it here with so many people, like-minded people that have a common interest and a great place to be.
I'm still thinking about losers finals. I thought you were going to say common enemy and how everyone wants a shot at Rise to Occasion, but you're right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next post. We've got Zardy. I am so excited to see Zardy compete at LAIC because this is a trainer that I spotlighted in the LAIC pre-show. I'm thinking Zardy's back.
Yeah, well, he thinks so too. He won a regional title already. Top 4 in Buenos Aires. That just happened. He always wants more, but nice to reach another top cut. This time with one of his favorite Pokemon, Zweilous. Good games to Oreo, really proud of him, and thanks to Tuzzy Esports for the opportunity there. He is, in fact, going to be at LAIC, and Zweilous, I think actually the trainer might be there as well.
I was going to say, speaking of him, I actually asked him, I said, how do you feel about trainers winning events with Zweilous before you do, when it's actually your namesake? But let's check in with Mel. We always love to hear from her. The choice was clear, making my Eternatus from Play Pokemon Worlds 2025 into a perfect. What are you using your silver bottle cap on? Type it in the chat, everybody. We really want to know.
Yeah, let us know. I still have to go through my box and see which ones I want to use it on, but I remember doing Eternatus raids. It was so much fun. So many people were playing that event at Worlds.
No way.
And I mean, if we're going ahead and giving some brags here, look at this.
Wow, Boa Tarde says Sonora Man.
Good
he
afternoon.
Got a perfect, shiny Dynamax, or excuse me, Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. What in the world?
Look at that beauty. How are you guys doing with your Grimmsnarl raids? I mean, I was doing pretty good. I have a couple. I have one shiny. I have one that's been really, really high ranked, but I haven't got one that you see here with all of those bars filled up.
I just got to say, I mean, if you see me in a Grimmsnarl raid and I'm at the casting desk, just know I'm a very good multitasker.
Yeah, he's relying on everyone else. The weight will be carried by the rest of you trainers, but he will be there to help, catch at the very end there. Make sure you're using your Safari balls as well to catch those mighty Pokemon. A little bit heavier CP, really, really high up. I know that I've been using it for quite a few of those. It's been such a fun event, and it's ending today, so make sure that you're maximizing your potential with it.
Here we go. We're back in it, everybody. This is Game 5, Losers Finals, headsets firing on all cylinders, and our trainers are as well. Down to the floor, Shadow Primate versus Goodra.
Let's go here. We just start karate chopping away while the Goodra takes it all. Goodra does need to be wary of that Ice Punch, and it looks like going for that Aqua Tail first, getting the shield off of Doonebug's side, but I think it looked like he was trying to click a Rage Fist.
Doonebug going for that high-octane duo of Shadow Primate
Changed
and
his mind.
Shadow Talonflame. A little bit of a decision tree there. Splits off to the right, and the Ice Punch, and it connects! Goodra, no shields.
Super effective, heavy damage. You see it now coming in with that Shadow, Kanto, Marowak, now met by the Galarian Corsola, just continuing to astonish away. This is going to be a Bone Club, and it's going to do, actually a decent chunk of damage. Kanto Marowak just starts to really chunk at Pokemon the longer that it stays in.
I think that Doonebug is reading that Scizor in the back. I think he's reading Scizor as the third, but it's not. It's actually Azumarill. So we get the Galarian Corsola versus the Shadow Kanto Marowak, and that final matchup could go either way. We're now at shield parity. Do we see the Bone Club? Do we see the Nightshade? Actually, on charge attack priority, both get fired.
Great call there by RockHaven, knowing that the Marowak was going to win that charge attack priority, forcing Doonebug to make a decision, and he gets the shield there as the Nightshade is going to be going through. And look at RockHaven using his last Protect Shield on this Marowak. He's got a decent amount of energy, thinks that he can outpace, wants to try to keep this middle alignment, but in comes that Primate, and now in comes Azumarill. The whole team has been revealed by Doonebug, but Doonebug has that Talonflame in the back.
Absolutely does. First Rage Fist will connect into the Azumarill. As this Primate ramps up, though, it gets more and more dangerous. We're going to see a second Rage Fist in rapid succession. Left-right hook here. This Azumarill is going to get knocked down to about half health, but I think it's going to fire the Ice Beam before the third. What do you think?
The big problem with the Primate is it paces so quickly, but those fast attacks just don't do very much, and despite all of its rage, this Primate is going to go down to an Ice Beam. RockHaven still has all three of his Pokemon left with varying levels of health. Doonebug's Corsola has been shown it doesn't have any energy left, and Talonflame doesn't have a great matchup against an Azumarill, but it's coming in anyway. It's got to start making some plays.
Oh my gosh, in the middle of the Incinerate, RockHaven sends in his Kanto Marowak, but the turn differentials displaced just enough to allow Doonebug to swap in that Galarian Corsola and soak all that damage.
You see a complete undercharge there by the Marowak, and you see that both of these trainers are gonna go down. There's only the Talonflame left. There's an Azumarill and a little bit of the Goodra left on the side of RockHaven. Talonflame already has some energy.
That switch timer is iced. There's no way that we'll see a swap anytime soon. Can this Talonflame? Oh, it actually is going to throw the fly. Does not want to risk getting hit with the Aqua Tail. I don't know, Amanda. I think this Talonflame is 2 Incinerates away, and the Azumarill is a little bit closer.
This is a Shadow Talonflame. That means it's going to hurt a little bit more. Azumarill is at the Ice Beam, going for one more, going to go for good timing, but this is charge attack priority.
Might have been a one-turn switch there. Azumarill isn't going to get its charge attack. Doonebug gets the fly off, and that does pick up the KO versus the Azumarill in this game 5. But our trainers are kind of looking across the table at each other, not sure about exactly what happened there, so we might need to take a closer look.
Just like the headsets, we want to make sure that everything is working properly here. This is a big moment for both of these trainers. This is the decisive game number 5. This game decides who will be in the grand finals.
Thing about Pokemon, right? Pokemon GO in particular, is that there's a lot of math. You'd be surprised, right? A lot of trainers look at it, they think you're just kind of tapping, but Azumarill's Bubble is 3 turns, and that Talonflame's Incinerate is 5 turns. So you got to think in multiples, 5, 10, 15, 20 for the Talonflame, and then the Azumarill is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. If you throw 3 bubbles, that should be 9 turns, whereas the Talonflame for 2 Incinerates is 10 turns. So on that 10th turn, when the Talonflame is finishing its fast attack, the Azumarill should have the opportunity to fire a charge attack of its own.
That's what normally when we're saying throwing on good timing.
Yeah. Exactly. And good timing just means giving the minimal number of free turns to your opponent. So that could look like, for example, if you're competing at LAIC, that could look like firing 3 Dragon Breaths in the midst of 1 Oranguru Confusion, and then your charge attack on turn 4. So no matter what, you gotta have to keep that in mind when you are playing competitive Pokemon Go.
It did look like RockHaven was at the attacks. He opted to go for that good timing because he thought that the Talonflame was on that cycle like Will was talking about. This is most likely what the judges are conferring over.
No, absolutely. We're getting word from production. That's exactly what they're looking at. So we might, oh my gosh, we got to replay so fast.
Here we go. Thank you, guys.
Fly connects. Here comes the Azumarill. That's 1 bubble, 2 bubbles, and then here comes our 3rd bubble. But look at the left side, Fly get clicked right there within the same kind of time span, and RockHaven is definitely confused. It's not how it should have played out in his mind.
And we're going ahead, letting the judges make a decision on this in the competitive circuit. If you're newer to this, if the judges do decide that was an impactful moment, this would be a rematch with fresh new teams, basically like that matchup didn't happen.
A couple of questions, right? So first of all, you can ask if the Talonflame or the Azumarill should have fired their charge attack first. That's a very valid question. The second question you need to ask, though, is even if the Azumarill fires the Ice Beam and it connects, is there a world where that Talonflame hangs on and still gets to the Fly? A lot of trainers that scrim a lot, know their matchups, probably can eyeball it and tell you, but it's really close. I can't call it from here.
It's especially close because it is a Shadow Talonflame, something that's relatively newer to the competitive circuit. So a lot of people have been scrimming with it, have been playing with it so far in these competitive circuits. But really, when it comes down to the line like that, there was a decent amount of bubble damage that went through. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's really incredibly close to call.
You got to kind of ask all these questions, right? Especially when it's this big of a matchup, when the stage is so bright, and the winner of this series will go on to face Rise in the grand finals. The difference between 3rd place and 2nd place is massive. The difference between 3rd place and 1st place is even bigger. So this is definitely an important moment, and I have full confidence in our judges to make the right call.
Both of these trainers went down to the wire here in this losers finals, being able to take it all the way to this decisive game number 5. Doonebug being able to take games 2 and 3 in the typical best of 3. That would have done it. That would have sealed the deal. RockHaven being able to take the 4th game in, once again, a best of 5 matchup, which all they will be for the rest of today, just means that it's been even more entertaining. We get even more battles to watch.
This tournament has felt, another sports reference, Amanda, you ready?
Oh boy.
This tournament has felt like a game where the coach saves all the timeouts for the last quarter, right? So we've had a very fast-moving game, or excuse me, very fast-moving tournament, tons and tons of matches shown on stream, but now we're slowing things down here, especially when the stakes are this high. Like I said, you want to get things right. You want to make sure the trainer that deserves to be in that position is there. I know our judges will do that for us. So but let's talk about RockHaven too. We got the camera on him for a moment. What an incredible, what an insane run. And we talk about composure all the time. Nighttime Clasher is like the picture of cool, but RockHaven, like you said, rock steady through this really, really tough gauntlet in the loser side bracket.
He's been playing very, very well. He's been having some picks that he said he knew that there was going to be a lot of Altaria, but he also knew there were going to be a lot of Empoleon. Empoleon is a Pokemon that Rise to Occasion has on his team, and Goodra has a much better matchup against that than an Altaria does because it's able to also be able to throw a Thunder Punch for more impactful damage. So that was the main reason that he opted to bring a Goodra over what we've seen on many people's teams, that Altaria.
Goodra, a flexible Pokemon, something that we see here and there, but it just speaks to the wide open nature of the current meta where you are kind of forced to play certain Pokemon if you, want to succeed at a high level. It's not like, the Metacham days or the Lickitung days where that was almost a requirement, right, for a lot of trainers that wanted to compete. At this stage, you can experiment, you can play fun Pokemon, you can lean into picks that people don't expect. And I think that's super rewarding because Pokemon Go is so much fun when you can play a wide variety of picks.
I mean, if you want to go even farther with this, like we talked about earlier, there is 12 unique Pokemon in this losers finals. So the team of Doonebug has no overlap with the team of RockHaven. We see them taking off their headphones as RockHaven concedes that this game was going to Doonebug97. He's getting that grudge match up against Rise to Occasion in the grand final.